Hey everybody, George Williams Sr. here. Just getting some of my kayak gear ready for next weekend for the River Festival. But there was something that came up, got to thinking about it. Excuse me. And that is Second Amendment stuff. I think people tend to get a little sidetracked with what the Second Amendment's all about. You know, they get stuck with being able to maintain a well-regulated militia. You know, it's there for the people to be able to protect themselves from a tyrannical government and all that stuff. But let's talk about what it comes down to. Its basic, fundamental purpose of the Second Amendment, and what all these people who are trying to remove the Second Amendment are basically saying. Ultimately, the Second Amendment is for one thing and one thing only. It gives you the ability to have a God-given right to protect yourself and your family, including your property, irregardless of what the courts have decided. Your domicile, your home, your property is also a means to protect your family. For example, if you're a business owner and you have a truck that you use for work, and that truck is the mainstay for you to go to work and do your job, and without it you couldn't work, you couldn't feed your family, couldn't pay your bills. Well, you know, they say that it's not worth defending your property. Well, you know what? I have chainsaws. My chainsaws are what I pay my bills with. Without them, I could not do my job as a timber faller working in the woods. So if somebody was to steal my saws, they were basically stealing my livelihood, my ability to work and pay my bills and feed my family. So, you know, the courts have kind of missed the mark on some of that, saying that you can't defend your property outside your home. But overall, the Second Amendment is not all about that. It's not all about hunting. It's not all about defending yourself from a tyrannical government, though that is a big, big part of it. It is basically about you having the ability to defend yourself, to protect your family, to protect your home from anything that poses a threat. So all these anti-gunners and liberals who want to dismantle the Second Amendment, what are they actually saying? They're basically saying your life ain't worth shit. You do not have the right to defend yourself. They want you to go barbaric. You know, if somebody comes into your house, they expect you to grab a knife, grab a bow, grab a sword, grab a hammer, go hand to hand. They expect senior citizens to have to duke it out with young thug teenagers or young men and women that break into their house in force sometimes and go hand to hand. You do not have the right to have a weapon to protect your life. Your life ain't worth shit is what they're saying to you. That's something everybody in America and around the world needs to think about. Is that what your government thinks of their people? Especially in Canada and here in the United States? Are they basically saying, all you citizens ain't worth shit? Because every person who has a reason, and they can cite mass shootings, school shootings, whatever, has their reasons for saying the Second Amendment needs to be done away with. They're basically saying, you ain't worth shit. Now, yeah, school shootings are unfortunate, but guess what? If there were decent, armed, capable, brave souls, not these pansy, pussy-ass school officers that run away when their job calls for them to step up and hold the line and protect our children, then mass shootings wouldn't happen. If those gunmen, if those crazy wackos, it's not the gun, it's the crazy wackos that go out indiscriminately murdering something because they got bullied or whatever the hell excuse they want to use. If those people knew that they were having to go into and up against a secure, armed, hardened facility, they wouldn't go there. Our kids would be safe. But basically, creating a gun-free zone at our colleges and our schools and our libraries and anywhere in the United States, they're basically saying, your children ain't worth shit. That's what all these anti-gunners and anti-Second Amendment people are saying. So you all think about that. If your life ain't worth shit, then what the hell are you doing here? What the hell are you doing? Because when the government and people like Gavin Newsom, if and ever they are successful to destroy this country, which is what they're doing, they're basically going to say, you ain't worth shit. So think about that. The Second Amendment has stood for over 200 years in this country, despite what crazy attorneys and crazy judges and crazy, I don't care if it's the Supreme Court or whoever it is, has tried to reinterpret it. And as far as I'm concerned, it's the foundation, one of the main foundations, along with the First Amendment, to keeping this country free. And I don't care what some candy-ass senator, governor, or whoever sitting down in some place thinking that they're going to pass an SB bill here in California or anywhere else that says you don't have the right to defend yourself because you ain't worth shit, says, I will stay armed at my home and I will have the ability, one way or another, to protect myself, to protect my family, protect my loved ones, anywhere and everywhere I go. And if they don't like it, that's because I think they ain't worth shit. And their opinions ain't worth shit. They all gave an oath to uphold and protect the Constitution of the United States. For them to constantly and fervently continue to dismantle the foundations of this country that have stood for over 250 plus years, well, no, ain't gonna fly with this old man. So, if you value your life, if you value your country, if you value the society that you live in right now, remember, when they tell you you ain't worth shit, go tell them to F off someplace. Because you're worth a lot. Your life, your family, your livelihood, your property, it's all sacred. It's sacred to you. It's sacred to the people that depend on you and those things. And we ain't going to roll over as Americans and cow to these crazy, uni-world nonsense POSs that want to tell us that we ain't worth shit. Anyway, that's what I was thinking today. So, you all have a good day and keep that thought in mind. You're worth more than what your government and your politicians and those candy asses that are sitting behind a desk trying to think of ways of depriving you of your life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness think. You know what? They ain't worth shit. And they need to realize that. So speak up, vote accordingly, and if you want to stay a free country, well, look around. Don't vote for your party. Vote for what the people that you're voting for stand for. And remember, the results of this country in a free and fair election are what you vote for. And when they take away the Second Amendment, when they take away my right and people like me ability to have and own guns, then they're coming after you too. If you're an anti-gunner, if you're an anti-Second Amendment, we are the only things that are keeping you safe. That's my thought for today. Talk to you later.